Hello there, this is Ryan from Burley Bricks coming to you live from my obscene Lego room, and today we're talking about this. This big boy, this Lego office set 21336. It's 1,164 pieces and retailed for $150 Canadian. Um, Now I was on the fence about buying this set because full disclosure, hot take, not really a fan of The Office. I watched it when it was on originally because that's what you did at that time. You watched what was on TV because don't think you could stream at that point, and there wasn't really anything else to do. It was like the hit show at the time. So I watched the first couple seasons. I wouldn't say like every day, but it's not really like I haven't gone back to it. I haven't binged it. I haven't rewatched it because again, hot take, I don't really like any of the characters. Michael is so awkward. I know that's the show. It's like awkward, subtle humor. Um, and then they had like sort of not a spin-off of Parks and Recreation, which is like a similar documentary type theme, same creators. I really like Parks and Rec because I really love the characters. But for me, for this show, I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of like run off the internet for this, but like I don't care for Jim. I don't care for Pam. I don't care for any of these characters really. The will they, won't they between Jim and Pam, I'm like, just I don't care. Just marry Roy. He's got a beard. But I did a full build. It's a two-parter on my channel. I'll put a link in the description below where I do talk about it, and I do talk like, oh, if I was an Office character, who am I? I'm probably a Toby. Just very like monotoned and like not respected, and but then I have a drink or two, and I'm a Meredith. But yeah, I work in an office, and full time, and I before the pandemic, I worked in the office. Sorry, I should say I worked in the office full time before the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, I go in every now and then. I'm very fortunate that I get to work from home most of the time. Um, but I get like the office politics, the interactions, and you know what? Like the show was very real to that. But at the same time, I guess I can be like a Dwight where I go in and I just want to like get the work done so I can get out of there. And the more time you waste and the more time you spend not doing work, that's the day just is twice as long, right? So that's why I don't really relate to Jim. Um, so you're probably wondering, like, why did you buy this set then if you're not really a fan of the show? Well, I'll tell you, because in my Lego tours, which is a playlist on this channel, I'm working on an office tower and it's 6 or 7 stories, minifigure stories tall. And I was interested in buying this set because it looked like there was a lot of interesting office furniture builds. I know that's really random, but I wanted that for my office. I want to be able to fill my office with, I need more chairs, I need more computers, I need more telephones. Um, and they have like this little printer build was so awesome, and these little side builds that represent file folders and things, these are great. I'm definitely going to be using that. Little trash bins and little TV builds and things like that. Like this is all great stuff, so I thought I'll buy it for the pieces and then sell these off later if I want to. I probably offended a lot of people here where they're the opposite, right? Like they want to buy this set for the people, but they don't really care about this. And I get it. I get it. One person's trash is another one's treasure, right? But I was really charmed building this. And though I'm not the biggest fan of the show, I did get a lot of the references. I appreciated little things. And I also loved how spacious it is. Like, look how much room is here. It doesn't depict the entire set of the office. Like, I know there's also like a kitchen and like not everyone's desks is represented here, but it's big enough that you could add a little more to it if you wanted to. There's a lot of play factor with this, which was interesting for something that you'd think that people would just like buy to display. Um, because they did something similar with Friends, the TV show Friends, they had the apartments, which was really cool. Like I'm also not a big Friends person, but I really appreciated the sheer size of that set. Like it was almost this full table. It was so big, so roomy. Um, So it's almost like dollhouses in a way of like your favorite TV shows. And I really like that they built it so that you can remove Michael Scott's office, which is just full of a lot of like details and little I'm assuming a lot of like jokes and inside things. I didn't get all of them. I'm not exactly sure where this is in like the timeline because I know that like I think it's when Pam is still the receptionist. Um and So I think it's maybe represents the first couple of seasons. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a lot of nods to like things that happen. Like they came with a bat with Meredith. If you know, you know. So that was a lot of fun. But for me, the big struggle was there was a lot of stickers in this set to a disappointing degree. And if you watched my full build, which of course you did, you could see me just getting really frustrated because it was slowing me down. I was trying to be really efficient, but it was really slowing me down. And it was disappointing because it's a $150 set. You would want some prints. Now, there is a print of World's Best Boss on this mug, which is great, but there is a sticker that they wanted you to put on a one by one little tile, and that's just kind of like that's a lot. And even this Dunder Mifflin, this was a sticker. Now, with the Lego Friends Central Perk, I believe it was I have nothing to back this up with, but I believe the Central Perk window sign was printed. I'm like 99% sure it was. And I kind of wish that like even just this Dunder Mifflin was printed because this is an expensive set. It had 2 pages over they were numbered. There was over 50 like 53 stickers, maybe even more because there was identical stickers for all the phones which was like 49, which was number 49, but there's actually six of them. So there's just a lot of that, which I didn't really appreciate. And then this um, stapler is printed on this clear, like it's supposed to represent the stapler that's been encased in Jello. I understand that why they printed it because it's on a curved piece. But if you could do it for that, like you could do that for other ones, like basic keyboards and stuff, those were printed, but it would have been nice to have some printed collectible pieces just for this set. And I'm a little disappointed, with the exception of the World's Best Boss, that there wasn't more, like even little nameplates or something. I mean, that would have been really nice. That's me being a little nitpicky, but other than that, it was nice. And I also like, it comes with this boardroom and they had different like TV screens that you can put on and off. And a lot of little interesting builds that I just thought was like really nice, really interesting. It was a really fun build. And to be honest, like if I ever saw it on sale, I'd buy it again, but just for the pieces. But I really liked it for that. And then now we're going to talk about the minifigures. There's a lot of minifigures in this set. My goodness, there was 15. 15. That's crazy. Like the friends that I know, I keep going back to that. Um, the big apartment, had the friends. Then I think it had Janice. But I'm surprised that they had many so many people in the office. Like they don't have everyone's desk. But I guess if you're a fan, the office is really, I guess you would start with the person that everyone probably would want the most, I would assume, is Dwight. And then you'd have Michael Scott. And then you would have like Jim and Pam. And then I guess you're like, okay, well, I have them just keep going and going and going. And it's funny because especially in the first season, those were like the main characters, and everyone else was sort of like, I don't want to say filler, but they're like in the office. They weren't like realized people until like I think like Phyllis or Meredith or Creed, even like in the first couple episodes. I don't know if they even had any lines. Let me know in the comments. So it was nice that they're all there. Um, but to be honest, some of them look incredible, and some of them are like, this could be anybody, like I'm not seeing the resemblance to the person. So we'll start with I put them on these little plates. So this one is Kelly, Dwight, and Phyllis. Now, Kelly, it's all right. I guess she's got a nice printed shirt. Um, but other than that, her hair, I'm pretty sure this is like the Black Widow's hair, but in a darker color. Like this hair piece has been around forever. Um, Dwight, I can see this being like the main attraction. He looks great. It looks like him. Great suit. Great. This is great. Like I can tell like by looking at this that this is Dwight. And I also really love Phyllis, even though her hairpiece is you know, we've seen it before. I can tell that this is Phyllis, and I really like that. So I think Dwight and Phyllis are my favorite. Um, then there's Creed, who's just a bald man. He looks all right. And then there's Ryan. I appreciated that they actually gave him another face where he like grows the stubble because he's cooler. Um, but him and Jim have the same torso. I don't know if that's like a plot point. Was there an episode where they dress the same? Maybe I'm just missing something, but it's a little disappointing that they're just like the same torso. I mean, I can of course use this in my office build, but I don't know. It was kind of weird. And then Ryan honestly looks like he could be anybody. Jim, they gave him like Luke Skywalker hair, which is actually pretty funny because it's kind of perfect for him in the early seasons because he had such dumb hair. I mean, I'm not one to judge, obviously, but they're just okay. Like, I guess it looks like Jim, and then Stanley, Oscar, and Meredith. Stanley looks pretty good. I like his little mustache. They gave him a little mustache, and Oscar. I mean, this can be anybody as well. I like his torso. I like the purple shirt with the tie. And Meredith, she's wearing like a Christmas sweater. I actually mentioned in my full build it would be funny if she was like only wearing a life preserver and like a captain's hat. If you know, you know. I also kind of wish that she had like a bottle of alcohol, but I don't know if Lego would want to do that. But her hair, actually, it was funny because I did a Lego show not too long ago, and there was this guy, and he mentioned how he bought office figures off of someone, but didn't buy Meredith because he thought that it was Ginny Weasley. So he didn't actually buy her. But it's kind of funny because she does look a lot like Ginny Weasley from the Harry Potter. Um, and her like it's just like I love the character, but I just don't really think that this really looks like her. She looks really young. I kind of wish she was a little more uh weathered, I guess. I don't know. Um, then there's Michael Scott, Daryl, and Toby. Again, Michael Scott looks like he could be anybody. I do appreciate with, Creed. Wait a second. Am I just noticing this? I am. Well, Creed and Michael Scott have the same torso as well. Is that something that happens in the show? Because I feel like if they were wearing the same thing, that would be a whole plot line, right? Like Michael would be really offended or really embarrassed if he was wearing the same thing as Creed. I feel like Creed wore like older like jackets with like arm patches on like his elbows or something. Like I don't know. That's a little disappointing. It is a great print though. It really is. But again, it's just a little basic for Michael, I guess. I don't know. And then there's Daryl, whose name I actually forgot because I feel like he wasn't really in the show in the earlier seasons. The actor is really funny. I remember him in like the 40-year-old virgin and Hot Tub Time Machine. And this is like a nice little like warehouse shirt that he's wearing. He's got a great beard. I really like this minifigure, but I don't like it doesn't really say Daryl. And then Toby, I was actually pretty disappointed with because the hair maybe it's too dark. Um, I this doesn't say Toby to me. Again, it's a nice printed like all the torsos are usable for me and what I plan to why I bought this set. But if people are like big fans of this series, it doesn't really these characters they're not the best. Even Pam's hair is kind of this is the basic I like that it came with the teapot. I got that reference. But the shorts and stuff, like it feels almost like I'm kind of looking over at my collection, but I feel like it's almost very similar to Ellie Sadler's Jurassic Park look. I think she even had like the similar hair, but it was blonde, with the shorts and the shirt is different. The shirt is good. But I kind of wish that her hair was more like how Pam's hair was originally, how she had it like back and then kind of it was very over processed. I guess this is more like later series Pam. Um, but I know I'm being super nitpicky. I hear myself, but I mean when you pay a lot of money for something and you're a big fan of something, I'm not a big fan of it, but you want it to look great, right? And when it comes to Lego, you expect a certain level of quality. So I tend to be a little hard on them sometimes just because it's really expensive. Like I'm not buying knockoff stuff here. Um, and then there's Angela, and again, her hair is very like I've seen this hair used a lot, a lot, a lot. Um, I also like that it came with that really awkward picture painting that she has of like the babies playing saxophones, and they made them like Lego babies. That was a nice little touch. Again, it's a sticker though. And she's got a little like cat on her cardigan, like a cat pin. So this is nice. Like this is a personalized torso for Angela, which I really appreciate. Her face, she looks angry, which is nice because she usually was. So like there was more thought, more care going into this minifigure than I would say like Reed. Um, and then there's Kevin, which I appreciate, they gave him his hair with the little you know, he's balding. But you know what? So is Stanley, if I remember correctly. So it's interesting that they gave him that hair, but not Stanley, and that Stanley and Toby have the same hair. I would make Toby's hair like even the same color as his torso here. Oh, my neighbor's dogs are barking. That's nice. But Stanley, and then they like kind of did the print to make it look like he's a little bigger. So there was attention to detail here, and it does look a lot like Stanley. But I feel like the minifigures are kind of hit or miss. Some look just like them, and some just kind of felt like afterthoughts. And that was that, and the amount of stickers is kind of my negative critiques for this. But otherwise, I had a lot of fun. Please let me know in the comments if you bought this or if there's another show Lego set that you liked. I know that there was a Seinfeld one that I didn't buy. I have the two Friends ones and I had the Big Bang Theory one as well. Let me know in the comments what other ones. Oh, there was also the Queer Eye Fab Five Loft that I also built on this channel. That one was a lot of fun and that one had amazing pieces. I bought two of them just for the pieces. But yeah, other than that, it was a fun build. I look forward to repurposing all this stuff. So please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you thought of this set. Did you buy this set? Um, did you is there any minifigure that you um, really liked? Or if you just want to talk about The Office, who's your favorite character? Like I said, I think mine is definitely Meredith because, she seems like someone who's just unapologetically her, which I appreciate. And with that said, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.